Hello, hello! Can everyone hear me? That's always the first question we have to ask, because the amount of times I have trouble the first time I start streaming. Okay, loud and clear, fantastic. I'm back, I return to all two people in the audience. Nice to see you, Kez. Nice to see you, Erica. I can't blame people. I've been away for, gosh, almost a month now. So happy New Year to everyone. I hope you've had a nice Christmas. 3 people. Undercover hat. Thank you. And okay, the numbers are going up. Good. As long as we get to our usual numbers, I'm happy. I try to make Twitter posts and go around and make sure everyone was aware. Okay, I'm back. I'm back streaming, so if you want to keep watching, now's the time. But yes, I've had a nice break over the holidays. I hope everyone else did as well. And I've been back home for about a week now, I think. And it has been non-stop work. Every day I've been working. Because, now I can say this now because we've made an official announcement. We are working away on our next release for King Gaff Creations. East Empire did well enough, where we decided this seems to be something we can pursue. Maybe we can make this into our full-time jobs. And so we're plowing forward. So keep your ears and eyes peeled. I'm sure in the next few weeks we'll start posting more about what we're up to. But for now I can't say too much, I'm afraid. But if you have any questions about East Empire, I can answer those. Or, of course, any questions about Sim Settlements 2, which is what we'll be playing today. Now, as always, technical difficulties came up out of nowhere. I was actually adding in some content for SS2 that has for a long time been waiting in the wings for me to get around to doing. And something we have to do now, which I don't get at all, is something called version control. And by doing this, somehow it means we're not going to break things when we submit all of our content to Gaff to merge into the main ESP for Fallout. Now, I'm not really a designery type person in that regard. That's a bit more technical than I'm used to. I can do the basics, but you asked me to do more complex things, and my eyes glaze over. But I think I set it up correctly, and then got that sent off to Gaff. But because I was messing around with that, I had to open up a different installation of Fallout 4, which is like my development installation, and has all the stuff in there that I need for CK changes and version control. And then I have my separate version, which is what I use for streaming and playing. But because I've been messing around with all these things, I kind of lost all my saved games. So that was annoying. And it also looked like a lot of my settings got reverted somehow. I guess like an INI got copied over or didn't get copied over. So great, fantastic. However, everything was still there. Just for some reason, files decided to rename themselves. So I think I've got the save that we were playing on last. And even though it did the thing again where it starts trying to play the game on my second monitor instead of my main monitor, I think I figured out how to fix that as well. So even if it does become an issue, I should be able to fix it quite quickly. But fingers crossed, we don't have any crashes, because it should be fine. I've tested it, it's fine. But if I close the game and reopen it, it does seem to sometimes like to go to the other monitor, so we'll see. But let's see if the game launches now. I'm crossing my fingers. Well, it looks like it's right on the right monitor, so that's good. We're starting off on a strong foot. Is it going to launch though? That's the question. Undercover Hat says, I'll have to drop out early, so I hope the few people will come in my place. Me too! But don't feel bad about dropping out. You can always catch up later. And it looks like Fallout 4 is launching, if I can find it. There it is. Okay. Let's try and switch over. And let's move chat over there onto my second monitor. Is it going to launch? Okay, it's launched. Fantastic. I think that is not the correct save, but that is a clue! To anyone who might know that screenshot, be able to identify where it is, that is a clue to what I was doing. I think this is the save I was working on. And hopefully, that wasn't long enough for the music to get copyrighted. I know that can be an issue sometimes. Guess we'll see. It's not as if I'm earning any money on this, but it's nice to have no copyright strikes on your channel. Just in case one day I do something with it. The cache? Eric, I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe you'll just have to check some patch notes. Assuming I did everything correctly. You never know. So, let's see, where were we? That's a good question. Okay, war is good for business. And peace of mind. Okay, we should do peace of mind before I forget, because I always forget about that quest when I'm playing through. Kez says, I'll get the watch hours in no time. Maybe. I mean, these do tend to go on a bit longer than I really should sometimes. Okay, I'm not going to defend... I should defend these guys, but I'm not going to do that. We're playing for story and gameplay tidbits. We're not actually really playing. So, those guys can be a bit sad that I'm not defending them. That's okay. Alright. Let's go find Stodge and crew. Now, I've noticed these guys like to get stuck in the workshop quite often. So if you have a city plan, or you've built sort of around...
Hi, how are you?
Thank you, Lashes. If you built around this thing, I think it often teleports them to this during certain quests, just so we know where the NPCs are. Looks like they've wandered off, though, so occasionally, if you come back to try and find Starge or Hubert, or I think Teresa as well, they may be, like, here, but kind of stuck behind. And if you have something there, that's where they are. There's a few times I've noticed that they do that. I'm not sure what we can do to fix it.
Places like this even exist.
I know we... Okay, see, they're stuck over here now. It's a reason that we don't do much in settlements, just because having scenes play out tends to be a bit wonky. Okay, Stodge is working, and Teresa's just watching.
We've been trying to contact you. We were attacked by gunners. Don't worry, we saw it coming. Managed to fend them off.
Don't sugarcoat it, Stodge. We may have won, but they hit us bad.
Yeah, we, did lose a few. And the gunners, they took the old guy, Paul. We didn't even realize until after they'd gone.
So, looks like Stodge has the brown face bug. Of course he does. Where did they take Paul? I forgot I was being a jerk. I think I know is the jerkest response I can do here.
I know.
Right, of course. I'm sorry. Paul, he was a good guy. Helped us out a lot. He became one of us. And we'll miss him. Now, I imagine you got a lot to do. But I appreciate you checking in on us. Thanks.
Okay. Paul's not hit. Where could he be? He is. He's over here. Okay, we're not going to Diamond City. So let's travel here instead. Okay, let's see. We have a laser pistol. Yes. 10mm. Shotgun without much ammunition. And okay, I'm going to have to stop by somewhere at some point and get some ammo, I think. So we get lucky and find it. I think this is the right direction. Let's see. Yes. So this is something we had to consider in development of this quest, which is where do we put Paul's body? Because we can't do it dynamically. Like, that was something I hoped maybe we could do. Depending on which settlement he came from. Uh-oh. Get him, Piper.
First mistake, last mistake.
Okay, that'll do. Run. Come on. Around the corner.
Where'd they go? She's going to die. She needs help.
Okay. My mind did not work. Yes, it did. Oh. Shoot him in the head. Okay, good. Right, what was I saying? The placement of old Paul. That was it. So the idea is, whichever settlement he was in, he'd be sort of in the radius of it somewhere, because obviously they took him and shot him on the way back to GNN. But that's just next to impossible to do. I figured as much when I sort of floated the idea. So instead we just had to pick a static location. So this like kind of central area seemed the best place for it, because it's kind of around most settlements and it's on its way to GNN. So that's why Paul is over here. So if he ever seems like he's really far away from the settlement you put him in, maybe you put him in a settlement outside the Commonwealth. I'm fairly sure you can do that. I've not seen anyone do that, but I think you can. And you're wondering, oh wow, they took him all the way back to the Commonwealth before they decided to kill him. That's why. It's just, we just needed somewhere to put the body, and it's more easy to use the same place every time. Where is it? Oh. And I think the reason this area got picked as well was because we have the best billboard in the Commonwealth right there. A young the run.
I hear something.
Okay. Looks like super mutant smell. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. I have a mine. I have a pulse mine. Okay. We're gonna save first of all. And we're just gonna throw mine out. And we're gonna run away.
Gone.
Did Piper just set that off? No. Okay, it's them with their missiles. I can't win against that. These guys are too high a level for me. Okay, I can. Uh-oh, I think we're about to die. I heard missiles. Oh. Okay, one down. And I'm drinking the water. That's not what I wanted to do. A bayoneted missile launcher. That is an... Oh my gosh. Apparently I'm in the water, and that is terrifying, and... This guy is helping me? Wow, saved by the water. I guess they just couldn't get to me. I'll pick up the missile launcher though. Okay. Where are they? What are they doing?
Face me, you coward!
Oh. Well, I've no idea what this guy's doing over here.
And you're dead! Smashing!
Okay, out of ammo. Get him. Hooray! I didn't die.
Thanks a lot.
Oh, okay, this guy was being chased by mutants. Does he give me a reward? Come here.
Don't much care for good neighbor. That place is nothing but trouble.
Hey there.
You know what I call a good day?
Nope.
One that ends without an empty stomach. Got a dangerous look about you.
Not even
You ain't here
caps.
for me.
Just a thank you, and that's it. You know what? I regret saving him. That was just a waste of my ammunition. But at least maybe we can go see Opal. Okay, let's check up with chat. Okay, you guys are talking amongst yourselves. That's good. But do at Cirque if any questions or anything you want my eyes on. And here he is. Oh no. I think we're missing a cola. Okay, we're gonna save. I know the mark on his body can be a bit temperamental. There we go. Okay. We're gonna be insulting because we're being a jerk on this playthrough.
Stupid old man.
And we did it! We completed it. I wonder why Cola... Oh, we've not got Cola. That's why she's not here. Okay. It's not a problem. Cola usually runs down to attack the hostiles. I think we've not done that quest yet, so there is no Cola in this universe, and now there never will be. Paul's dead. He ain't coming back. Or is he? Nah, he's not coming back. I know people love Paul, and they wish that we kept him around. But he needs to die. He needs to die, I'm afraid. It's just, it just wouldn't have the same impact if it turns out that was a synth body and the real Paul is fine. Who's this guy? It's a gal. Who are you?
Best scrap in the Commonwealth, right here.
I like... See, I like those just... No, get off. I like this random little, like, houses and people you can come across. I wish there was more of that in the game. That's kind of what some settlements does, but... Yeah, it just feels cool to come across just... This is a random person living in their shack. They can trade with you. That's nice. Okay, let's go report back to Jake. Ignoring that attack, we are not involving ourselves. Yes, I'm a monster, not getting Cola. Cola is cute. And if one day we unlock the pet store at any point, and I buy a pet, you'll get to see one of the pets is based off of one of my dogs. Not exactly, but it's the same breed of dog. Because Gaff did go around asking people, hey, do you have a dog? What breed of dog are they? And so we had a list of dog breeds to put in, and one of them is mine, which is a miniature schnauzer. Lupe's just hanging out there.
Ah, what were you hiding?
No need to fill me in. Aiden's already been in contact. He's got me up to speed.
Junk.
But it was a lot of information to take in all at once. He, also told me about old Paul.
Erica says, this trader also has a dog that's stuck in a cage a bit east of there. Oh, quite funny, I'm going to guess. That says the emoji hearts blocking things again. To see a dog run back to her once you free it. Or fun? Maybe it's fun. Locally, he died a hero.
He died fighting for the Commonwealth.
Yeah.
He's a hero in anyone's book.
He helped build a settlement for folks he only just met. He gets captured trying to defend it, and then he dies insulting the gunner that took him. Yeah, he's a hero, all right. But I suppose now we do know where the comm hub is, and there's Gunner's Plaza. We could take it back. I'm just not so sure this attack plan is the best way. I mean, a full-on assault on the Gunner's headquarters? How do we even pull something like that off?
I'm seeing praise in the chat for miniature schnauzers. They're a very nice dog. I'd recommend them for anyone who wants a good breed in terms of temperament. They're very nice, they're very friendly, very good with kids, they're hypoallergenic. I think that's the correct words. One downside, I love them. I love my dogs, but they're very barky. They're a barky dog. I think they were used as guard dogs, so it makes sense. And I just realized as well, I mentioned before that I was doing, adding some content into SS2 that was missing. And in doing that, I downloaded the most recent version of SS2 to make sure I'm not, like, overriding things. But I only got Chapter 1 and Framework Overhaul, or what's it called? Frame, that important thing that you must have. So I've updated those, but I didn't update Chapter 2 and Chapter 3. So maybe that's going to cause some issues. I'll have to update that for next time. Thankfully, this is just a playthrough for demonstration purposes, but yep, that might cause problems. Maybe. We'll see. I can leave. We need troops. Any better ideas? Why are you afraid, Jake? You wuss.
Why are you so afraid?
Why am I afraid of the Gunners? Are you seriously asking that? Look, don't get me wrong. I want to get the comm hub back, but a full-on attack on the Gunners' home turf? It just seems excessive.
Well, do you have any bright ideas, Jake?
And what do you suggest?
Well, I don't know. It's just... I'm just not
doesn't
sure running in
typically.
gung-ho is the right thing to do.
We need an army.
Yeah, Aiden said as much. Called it a strike force. Could almost hear the glee in his voice as he said it. Look, I'm not saying this attack plan is a bad idea, but if we assault their HQ, we're gonna have to kill a lot of Gunners. I'm just not sure it's necessary.
If you didn't want to kill them all, you could just hack the plaza's security systems?
Huh? What are you talking about?
You know, reprogram their internal defenses. Maybe broadcast an evac order. If you did that, I bet a lot of them would just run away.
I almost forgot. You're a gunner technician. Of course you know all about their systems.
I just remembered something. Okay, so you don't make the choice here, but you do make it later on. Oh, looks okay. It looks like we're missing a condition on that hacker line. But as I just mentioned, we're not playing with the most updated version, so that's probably fixed at this point. So I'm not gonna make a mention to Cal and be like, hey, look, a thing, because it's probably already been reported and chances are already fixed. Anyway, you make a choice a bit later on, but here's the seeds for it. Of do you attack when you attack the Gunners Plaza, do you kill them all, or at least as many as you can, or do you let some escape? This is a very important choice that does come back later on, and will have ramifications for things later on. I will say this. If you want... Okay, I'm just going to spoil things. There's no way around I can do this without spoiling it. At the very end of the game, you can choose to destroy the Gunners or not, by blowing up their base. If you blow up their base, they're going to be mad at you no matter what, because you just, like, you blew them up. They're not very happy. If you don't blow up their base, you get two outcomes. If you take Jake's plan when attacking the plaza, you now have the ability to form a truce with the Gunners and get kind of an alliance. But this only works if you do Jake's plan. If you do Aiden's plan, you now get the ability to basically take over the Gunners, because you've demonstrated that you're ruthless. They won't buy that you're ruthless if you don't do Aiden's plan. Therefore, you don't get that opportunity. So, depending on how you want to deal with the Gunners at the end of the game, you can always blow them up. That's always a possibility. You can only get them to be allies and have Lamont survive if you do Jake's plan, and then don't blow them up at the end. And you can only take them over and become the new leader of what remains of the Gunners if you do Aiden's plan, and again, don't blow them up at the end. Now, that should be the way it plays out. I've only seen people do it one way, because everyone wants to be nice, so no one blows them up, and most people who at least want to make Lamont an ally. Whether that's a good idea, that's up to you. But let's do the perk line, because we are a hacker.
Know anything about remote computer access?
Huh? Oh, sure. But the Plaza's security is a closed system. No way to hack it remotely. I'd have to do it from the inside. Still, I'm surprised you know about that kind of stuff. I'm impressed.
If you could help us avoid an outright massacre, I think Lupe's hacking idea is worth pursuing. Even if only a handful of gunners run away, at least we gave them the option. What do you think, Slick? Worth a try?
I think we should kill them all.
Letting some escape has got to be better than killing every last one of them.
No.
No, not interested.
I'll go along with whatever you think is best. But when it comes down to it, please, at least consider Lupe's idea.
No.
Whatever you decide, if you're going to attack the plaza, you'll need to know its layout.
Huh, that's a good point. Our chances of pulling this off would be a lot better if we all knew where everything was.
I could make a rough sketch, but it would be missing a lot of detail.
So, we need a detailed layout of the plaza. You know, I think I've got an idea where we could get our hands on something like that. Hey, Lupe, how'd you like to meet the coolest cat in the Commonwealth?
What? I'm really more of a dog person?
Hey, do you think you could escort Lupe to Diamond City? I think it's a safe bet if she explains to the Ron what we need, he'd be able to find us something that fits the bill.
Sure, trust him. What could possibly go wrong?
Aiden was kind enough to explain what happened between the Ron and the Gunners. And yeah, he did tell them where to find me in the comm hub. But it didn't really sound like he had much of a choice. I don't hold it against him. And neither should you.
What makes you think that?
If there's one good thing you could say about the Ron, it's that he could get results. If there are blueprints or building plans for the plaza out there, he'll be able to find them. Besides, I'd say he owes us one.
I see more people in chat. Hello, welcome. Okay. Now, I don't think we've encountered any of the vanilla factions. I think if you do, Jake will give you a prompt at this point to go talk to your friends. No, I would, but it'll be way too much time. So at this point, if you do have like the Railroad or the Minutemen or the Brotherhood or the Institute, you can get them to help you join on the attack. Or the CPD and the Nightingales, if you've done any of our factions. But we've not done any of those, so it's going to be a pretty lonely attack, I think.
Sure, I'll take her.
Great. Just let her know when you're ready to head out. That is, if you don't mind going, of course.
Oh, no, not at all. I've always wanted to visit Diamond City.
All right. I think I'm coming around to this whole attack plan. We can make this work. But we could still do with a little extra help.
Oh no, he does say it.
Hey, here's an idea. Maybe you could check in with some of the friends you've made out there. After everything you've done for them, I'm sure they could spare a little manpower for our assault. But I'll leave that up to
Who have
you.
we met? Or is this line
For
just
now,
not conditioned?
I'll start
let's
getting
see.
things ready on my end. Stay safe out there. And don't worry. One way or another, we will get the comm hub back.
Although, a little nervous. I'm not really the fighting type, you know? So, kinda scary heading out there.
What are you so nervous about? What's the worst that can happen?
Worst that could happen? Well, last time I tried going to Diamond City, I was captured by and then conscripted into the Gunners. So, yeah, you could say I'm a little anxious.
Stay close, kid. You'll do fine.
I should have done
Okay,
a different line.
I believe you.
Okay,
We'll be fine,
I can reveal some cut content.
right?
So, this may be something we add in the future, but it really is a polish thing. This is just something I wanted Lupe to be able to do. So Lupe is borderline pacifist. She of course fights back and she helps you attack things. But the idea is she doesn't really like to kill stuff. She does like technology though. So the idea with Lupe was when you could have asked the line there, is anything you can do to protect yourself? And I think right now she gives kind of a vague response like, but, you know, she's got a few tricks up her sleeve. One of those tricks was meant to be she would throw down a mini turret in front of her. So she'd bend down, do a little crouch animation, and then a half-size scale turret would appear. And that would do some of the fighting for her, and she'd stick by it. Maybe that's something we'll get in at some point. Maybe it's something just, it's not really worth doing. I'd like to get it in. I think it would be cute. And I think she also has lines for that as well. So they're recorded, they're ready to go. We just need to actually put that in the game. But there's so much to do still, so maybe in a future patch. Let's see. Recruit my allies. Which allies? Who? There's none of them. I don't know any of them. And I've definitely not done enough quests for them. So, usually what you can do here is because Lupe's following us around because we're acting as an escort. Did she say anything?
Hey there.
No. I'm not sure if she does have lines. Again, that just haven't got around to being put in. And again, slightly older build I'm playing on, so maybe they're in at this point. Anyway, if you take Lupe with you to some of the factions like the Minutemen, or the Railroad, or even the Institute, she will have things to say. So that's just a little extra thing if you never knew. But we don't have any friends, because we suck. So we're just going to go straight to Diamond City and talk to the Ron. And if I remember, I'm going to do a voice line, or pick an option rather, to hear a voice line.
I hear there's a bar in the old theater district
That I never hear anyone do, and it's one of my favorite voice lines for the Ron.
I hear there's a bar in the old theater district that's for raiders only.
I'm fairly sure it's not one that is conditional, and so only appears sometimes. I think it's always there. I think just for some reason, I've never seen it on a playthrough. Is Lupe still following us? Piper is. And Lupe is. Okay, good. Carvac says, good morning, Carvac. Welcome to the stream. Good morning. Tuh, madness. It's nighttime outside. Clearly you're wrong. Ooh, this is... Okay, this is one of my texture mods. Not SS2. Save.
Excuse me.
Oh, yeah! Is it just me, or did it just get a lot cooler in here? Don't leave a cat hanging now. Give me some skin.
Because I have the best friends. I have the Ron. That's all I need. Feeling better, Ron? I'm gonna say... No.
No.
No. Alright. Hey. Before we get started with anything, I just want to say I heard you rescued Jake. I'm glad. And I'm glad you came out okay, too. the Run is real sorry for ratting you guys out. If there's anything I could do to make it up to you, you just let the Run know. Alright? I really am sorry.
We're gonna be a jerk again because it's funny.
Well, I guess we'll see, won't we?
For what it's worth, you've got the Ron's word. I won't let you or Jake down ever again. That's a pinky promise. Well, now that's out of the way, let's get down to what the Ron does best. It's time for some business. Oh yeah! That is why you're here, right?
There's the option, so we can ask him how is business, and we can tell him nice hair. Let's ask how business is first.
So, how's business?
It seems the Commonwealth is the up-and-coming place to be in the Waste. Business is booming. I've got more new clients than I know what to do with.
So that's kind of, at this point in the story, you're going to have some settlements, so that's what that is. That's a good job, player. You've been doing good, but we're more interested in his hair. Because if anyone remembers, he looked a bit different last time we saw him.
Wow, your hair looks great.
Oh, thanks! After getting roughed up by that gunner tough, I needed a new haircut. I needed a new haircut.
I never see anyone do that line, and it's one of my favorites. It's law. It's official SS2 law. The Ron does wear a toupee.
Go ahead, speak.
Hello.
Hello to you, little lady, and welcome to the Ron's Information Emporium. I am the Ron, Chief Proprietor, Consecutive Employee of the Month, and Information Broker Extraordinaire. Whether you've got information to buy or you got information to sell, I'm the one you want to come see. I'm the Ron, baby! Oh yeah!
Okay.
I love how the camera sometimes just plays really well in that scene. We're gonna be annoyed at the Ron because we're a jerk.
Christ, not this again.
Oh.
Well, you see, we're kind of going to attack the Gunners. So we need a layout of their base. The Gunners Plaza. The more details, the better.
Oh, you mean the old GNN headquarters. Sure. Just give me a minute. I know I've got something here.
You're not going to ask about the attack?
Don't ask, don't tell. When it comes to my clients, it's a motto the Ron tries to follow. Besides, after what the Gunners did to Jake, I'd say they have this coming. Now, let's see here. General Atomics, GDA Fusion, Gary's Discount Galoshes. Aha! Galaxy News Network.
Hello, paper.
This folder here should have everything you need. There's labor records, financial reports, and what I think will be most useful for you, building blueprints. Here, on the house, courtesy of the Ron.
Do I have high charisma?
I think you can do better than that.
Sorry.
Nope.
But that's everything I've got on the GNN building.
So if you do have high enough charisma, you'll get handed some dossiers there on the Gunners, including a scary person called Lamont. Who could this Lamont be? So something that has been brought up by a few people, and they're completely right, is because each chapter had to be kind of separated, we kind of needed like a villain for each one. So we can't have you meet like the main overall villain in each chapter because, well, there's a year between them. The player's kind of free how to deal with them. So I think we're in chapter 2 now. So Wes is the main bad guy you have to fight and kill. So Lamont does kind of come in chapter 3, and that feels bad to me. Like it felt necessary, but I'm sure there's a way she could be introduced sooner, and you could meet her sooner, and just have some exposure to it. I've yet to figure it out, but there must be a way. Maybe early in chapter 1, someone mentions it during the main questline at some point. I'll figure it out. Your rudeness to him hurts. He's just a puppy dog. I know. Everyone loves the Ron, and I'm glad, because I love the Ron. Again, it's another character I thought people would be annoyed by, because that, you know, he's annoying to the people in the universe, but I think people see past his his fake exterior and see the soft puppy inside. That's it. Run, you jerk.
Is that the best you can do?
The Gunners purposefully keep info about their HQ on the down low. You're lucky the Ron has collected as much as he has.
I'm amazed you had something like this. It's exactly what we need.
Yeah. Real exciting, kid. Let's get back.
If it's okay with you, I'm gonna stay here. I should update these blueprints, note down all the changes and defenses the Gunners have made. That is, if Mr. Ron doesn't mind me staying?
It's the Ron. I'll go find you some pencils.
Whatever suits you.
I think it's for the best. We don't have much time, and Mr. the Ron might still have more useful information. Once I'm done, I'll head back to Concord. I guess I'll hire a merc or something to bring me back.
Nonsense. The Ron will make sure the little lady gets back safe and sound. After all, it's bad business letting good clients get killed.
Oh, okay then. I guess I'll see you later.
Hooray! Return to Jake. I'm seeing all the love for the Ron in the chat. That's wonderful. So, here's an interesting thing. Often in SS2, we like to cut down the dead air in audio. So in a character's line, there's often maybe a half a second to a second of just silence before they can speak again. And this creates somewhat of a gap in between the chunks of dialogue they have. Now, the reason I think Bethesda does this, which is something you may have noticed there, a character starts speaking before the camera has a chance to turn to them because the camera is dynamic. So I think they purposefully add that sort of second delay. But the downside is, now you have a second's delay between all dialogue, and that doesn't sound good. So we chose to remove it to have more flowing conversations. The downside is, the camera doesn't always manage to keep up. So it's just one of those trade-offs that we just decided on, and then it became a stylistic thing. We keep to it most of the time, sometimes we don't. I'm sure there's scenes where if we wanted to really sort of micro-tune it, we could go in and add a few seconds of silence now and again to make sure the camera is facing a character first, but for the most part, we just do the opposite to Bethesda there, where we don't leave that silence so conversations can flow a little better. Which I'm sure is something Kobus, our chief audio making character director guy, he has many titles. That's something I know he for sure prefers. And I think I'm with him on the same page there. I don't care, security. I'm talking to people. Rude. Right. Where am I going? Back to Jake. I'm not going to walk all the way back there. So originally, I think you would report back to Jake here and immediately... No. I think at this point we're meant to... Oh god, I can't remember. Either way, we go to report back to Jake and the quest would just continue, but we changed it. And by we, I mean Gaff. Because people weren't realizing that they could have... Basically, they weren't on a timer here, really. They had enough time to go talk to their allies and bring them into the fight. Which is an option Jake does tell you to go do. But many people rushing back, talking to Jake, and then it's, well, time to have a fight. I think maybe there's a radio... That's it. You got a radio call. I think. As soon as you're done. So we changed it so you'd have to come here and interact with this little note. Well, you interact with the radio. The note's on top of it. Aiden and I are preparing. Just push this button when you're ready to send a signal, and we'll let you know we've got everyone in the way. Blah, blah, blah. Contact you when it's time. Okay, Jake. So, yep, you have to push the button. Okay, I don't want to read that. I'm just going to pick it up. And then we have a pop-up. And this was just because... This is the struggle sometimes. You want to design something to be flowing and not have these pop-up interruptions. But occasionally it's just needed. The base game does this. Even arguably one of the best Fallout games in recent times, Fallout New Vegas, does this. Because I think it's just a limitation of the engine where, because there's so much freedom, players can just miss things or feel they have to do something when really they don't, because we can't railroad them as much and control things as much. So yeah, we have this pop-up. I'm finished recruiting, we can continue the quest. And now we get the radio signal. There we go. Oh, this is going to be really tough. I have, like, no ammo. I think I'm going to have to let my allies fight for this one. War is good for business. Completed. And it looks like Concord's building up as well. Or Concord, if you're going to say it apparently the correct way. The NPCs in the game don't always say it the right way. So I'm less hung up on that than some people on the team are. Cobus. He's like, no, the NPCs must always say it the correct way. Which I guess is Concord. But a bunch of our NPCs say Concord. And a bunch of vanilla NPCs say Concord. So I'm okay with both. I think that makes sense. People say things differently in real life, so I can handwave that. But it also is just the case of, I think, a lot of voice actors just weren't told the correct way to say it. Okay, maybe that isn't radio. Did it say... Okay, I think we have to wait. I think we have to wait for 24 hours. It probably told me that, and I just wasn't paying attention. Garbeck says, I do like the room you all created for the run. I do too. And that was made by Business Vulture, who did probably the majority of our new levels in SS2. Okay, let's sleep for 24 hours. Click, 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 click. 24. Okay, sleep. And there is a whole bunch of levels that Business Vulture did like years ago that kind of just got put aside because they became cut content. But I will say they will be making an appearance sometime in the future, because even though Chapter 3's out and really there's no Chapter 4, we're still making content. We've still got stories, we still got quests, we still got things we want to get in there. Okay, we're gonna get a radio call here. We're gonna get a Mala. There's nothing to say to me, rude. But you know what? I'm going to say most people in the chat right now, or most people watching later on, and if you are watching later on, thank you, that's very nice of you. Most people who are watching this are probably quite aware, like, you're not someone who's wandered in, I'm not going to be spoiling things for you. So you're already quite deep into the lore of SS2. There's something mentioned in Chapter 1 by old Paul.
Ah, what were you hiding?
Quiet Piper. Where he mentions someone in power armor with a huge sword. And this is a character I've had planned since I joined the team, all the way back when.
Nothing but garbage.
Thank you, Piper. Because originally they were going to be part of the original ending of SS2, which was going to be a big fight at either the castle, Spectacle Island, or Warwick Homestead? I'm not sure if that was always the case. And we had 3 big outposts built there for this big epic fight. Now, they got reused in the beginning of Chapter 3, for those who played Chapter 3. But the person who designed them had to go back and redo them all. Because now they didn't fit for purpose, and we didn't have things like military plots, or martial... No, we had martial plots, but we didn't have, like, the outpost-focused plots at that point, so... He had to go back and strip loads of things out, put it all back. And that's, again, something he designed years and years and years ago. So we have quite a bit of content that's gonna make it in someday. Just not yet. Okay, Erica knows. Erica knows who it is. I'm not going to reveal the name. But yes, that's one of them. And there's another character, who again I designed at the same time, who again was going to be part of this big final epic fight. And they had to get cut as well. Why is this quest not started? What am I doing wrong? Did I not sleep long enough? Do I have to go hit the button again? I clearly wasn't paying attention. Yeah, so there's 2 big characters who are very much their own thing. Like, they're unrelated to the main plot, so you can kind of have a bit more freedom with them, which is kind of why I designed them. But if you do interact with them, they will benefit you in the main storyline. And that's something I've wanted to get in for a long time. So that's... You can consider when those 2 are in, I'm probably done. Like, we had nothing else to do. Gaff was kind and threw me a bone.
Warm spot with a cold beer would be
and said, okay,
heaven.
you can finally get those 2 characters in. Okay, no. Maybe I just gotta sleep a bit more. Yeah, let's say 6 hours. Character's name, which I won't mention, but if anyone's looking in the chat, you know. comes up quite often in Simp. Ah. For those who don't know, there is a fan Sims Elements 2 Discord channel, which I will let you seek out by yourselves. Sorry, Kez, but that's not family friendly, and I'm not going to advertise that on my family friendly YouTube. But if you do want to track it down, people in that Discord, they are lore monkeys. They are deep into the lore. They find things that even I forgot about sometimes. So I'm not surprised it's mentioned there. Erica, you are a lore gremlin. There we go. That is similar to a lore monkey. I keep track of the small story details.
Should be finished before sundown, I reckon.
It's these guys. Okay, they're going to follow me forever, I think, unless I talk to them. Yep, okay, I'm going to have to talk to them.
Cool, dang it to hell! You bagged a freaking Concord Deathclaw! This is unfreaking believable! Everyone from DC to Miami knows of this beast, and you done killed it! I demand to know how in Adam's name did you pull this off?
I'll finish that thought and then get back to this. I'll be shocked if anyone here didn't know about the Simp Settlements channel at some point. I'm sure most people have come across it at some point, guys. See, I think it's a great channel for what it is, but it's difficult sometimes to point people towards it, and you know why. You know why. So yeah, back to my previous thought, which I just apparently lost. The day that... No, I'm not going to do it. Like, one of the characters' names hasn't come out yet, and even though I so want to just tell you guys all about that character, I'm not going to, because I don't want to spoil things. But character A and character B, those were two characters I made when I first joined the team and sort of finished writing the then story, but this is like 5 years ago. And they were sort of my inventions. Like, I inherited a lot of characters, a lot of plot points and stories from SS2, and then had to rework them and make them work. But these two, like, these were my babies. So yeah, when those two get in, you can probably consider most story content for SS2, outside of maybe some patches and fixes, done. Like, we're probably done at that point. So that's going to be my personal swan song. But there may be more content, who knows. I want to get them in as soon as possible, though. So, you know, maybe they come next patch. They don't. They won't. But if they did, there'd still be more to come. But, like, yeah. But we'll see, we'll see. I want to get them in. Like, I'll have to rewrite the quest, because, again, it's been so long, but I think they can still work. Now, to what we're talking about, or seeing right now in-game. The Concord characters. I think many people will know that the Concord characters, and if you don't, I'm going to tell you now, these were cut settler characters, I believe, that never had their writing finished, and obviously were never recorded, because the writing wasn't finished. And so there was a bunch of unfinished writing just sitting on our Google Drive. And so this was handed off to Surlock, I think? Could be wrong. I think it was Surlock. And his task was to try and make sense of this writing and rework it and see if he could make new characters out of it who would become the Settlers of Concord. And it was a tough task. Like, this is always a difficult thing to do, to make vanilla lines work, and it's essentially the same thing. You're making pre-written lines work. If we could go back, I think we should have told Surlock, you can change more. You can change more, and that will make it work better. So some of these quests are a bit janky because they were... It's the same error I made when I first started working on SS2, whereas I tried to retain too much of what was written previously out of respect for, like, the people who come prior. But it just made the task more difficult. So I think we should have told Surlock, you can change stuff. Assuming it was Surlock, I think it was. We should have just told him, you're more free to change things. Like, you're not married to any of this stuff. Like, if you feel it could be changed to make it better, feel free. But because of that, because I think he tried to make what was already there work better than it could do, some of the dialogue in this is a bit janky. So at some point we may go back, see if we can rework it again, maybe get new lines recorded. But if any of the characters in Concord feel a bit weird, that's why. And we're aware of it, but again, it's one of those things that we've still got stuff to do. So at some point we will come back and we'll do a Concord 2.0, and maybe we'll get some more cut characters in if there's any gaps that remained, and we'll try to smooth off some of the rough edges here and there, because we know they're there, and we'll fix them someday. And that's our fault, because we kind of rushed it, because we wanted the content in the game. What the? That's my response. What the
fuck is he saying?
Oh,
Daddy. This hunter beat you fair
I
and square.
also hate that she calls him
There's no
Daddy.
need to get all ornery about it. And where are our manners? I'm dreadfully sorry. This here tired old hunter is my father, Elias Thompson. And I'm Ruby Thompson. We've kind of set up shop here in Concord.
I'm not sorry. Having that damnable Deathclaw's head on my mantelpiece was going to be my crowning trophy.
Daddy, I think we should invite them home so we can hear the story in more comfortable surrounds.
All right, fine. Our house is the 2-story on the outskirts of town near the old church. Still want to know how in Adam's name you managed it.
We would love you to come and share a meal with us whenever you can. No worries, no rush. Stop by some evening when you're free. Good company is always appreciated. Come on, Dad. Let's go and finish patching up the window like you promised. Bye for now.
Hi, Ruby. Yeah,
You and Jake get my vote.
the word daddy has been ruined for me, I'm afraid. It's just one of those words. You can never hear it innocently again. Kez daddy? Oh, well, look at that. Are those the ones that had the casting call not long ago? No, I think if you're referring to the characters I want to get in at some point, they've not had any casting calls at any point. I may Kez jump. I just realized, you're not the one who ruined daddy for me, don't worry. That was ruined long ago. It's just one of those words now that you can't hear. You know, if you watch a film from, I don't know, like the 70s, the context of the word daddy hadn't been changed that much at that point. It wasn't in the public consciousness. Now it is. So anytime you hear it now, I think it's kind of just ruined. It's one of those words. Okay. Why is that quest not started? What am I meant to do? Big think. I'm just going to sleep a little bit more. It said listen to the radio call. I think, did it? Stress, Diamond, Classic. That's not it. That's for the DLC.
This is an emergency
Yep, nope. Okay, we should be able to listen to classical music without getting copyright strikes. Can we build a bed? We can. I like building a bed in here. Yeah, let's try and sleep for another 24 hours, and then I'm sure the quest should have triggered by now, unless it is on a timer. Again, I'm sure it said it in the pop-up, I just didn't read it. Not a big reader, not a strong reader, the writer of SS2. Everyone in chat is concurring, the word daddy is ruined. It can never be used in an innocent way again. There we go, okay, we just had to wait, I guess, 42 hours. Jake's private frequency.
Hey! Hey there, Slick! I hope you can hear me alright?
I hear you asking a stupid question, and of course they heard you.
Oh, would you just lay off? It's called being polite. Jerk. Anyway, I hope you're doing well. Keeping out of trouble. Sorry, it's been a while since you heard from me. We've been burning the candle at both ends over here.
Hurry up.
Ain says hello. He's his usual cheery self. Anyhow, Hey!
Listen up. We're ready to attack the plaza. Everything's in place, and the only thing we're waiting on now is you. Meet us at the coordinates embedded in this message. Get there as soon as you can. And come prepared.
This has been a pre-recorded message. Message repeats in 3 seconds.
Havok has ordered I buy a dog. I don't think I've got enough money, but let's see. Excuse me, sir. Are you willing to sell this dog?
Hey there. You look like someone who could use to talk. Man's best friend, right?
Yes. Here are my money. Take.
You've got a deal.
Oh, yeah. You sure? I mean, she's a great dog. Don't get me wrong. I just don't want to sell her to anyone who isn't going to take good care of her.
Give me dog.
I'll take good care of her. Don't worry.
Yeah, okay. You look like you won't eat her or anything. So, you really want to buy her?
Give me dog.
Yes. I really want to buy your dog.
Okay. You have someplace for her to live, right?
No. She can go to Sanctuary.
I guess that'll have to be okay. Okay, girl. This is your New owner. He's gonna give you a new home. Go on now. You be a good girl. Bye-bye. I gotta go. You take care of her, all right?
Maybe constantly trying to kill us, but the Commonwealth never lacks for excitement.
You're right, Piper. That was exciting. We should buy a dog every day. That just leaves and goes to Sanctuary. Okay, this is going to be tough. We may have to cheat this. Because we have no allies. We have no ammunition. I don't know how many stimpaks we've got. I might have to cheat. Okay, this away. Okay, let's see. Status. Where does it show me my... Oh, right down here. 0 stimpaks. Fantastic. We're gonna die. Okay, I have some armor at least. That's something. Piper just piping up. It's like it's her name or something. Yep, I'm dead, Karvok. I'm fairly sure I'm gonna have to put God mode on to cheat. If I was playing properly, I'd have all the ammunition, I'd have everything, because when I play, like, just by myself, I'm one of those people that just picks up everything. Which is why these games, I think, are perfect for people like me. Like, I'll play a game where you have, I don't know, like, potions, and I don't drink any of the potions for the game, I'll just do things hard, and then at the end of the game, I've just got all these potions, and the game's over now, like, I should have used them. But thankfully, Fallout 4 never ends, so that giant stockpile of things I've got that I'll never use, technically, I could still use them. It wasn't really a waste of time, although it kind of was. But I'm not playing properly. Oh, they're fighting. I'm just playing for story, so... Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I'm just gonna run. I'm just gonna run over here. I'm just gonna crouch. Still in danger.
Blue, we're not alone here. Found them and they do not look friendly.
Okay, I'm missing all my shots. There we go. Piper's dead, but that's okay. Usually, when I am playing properly, I always like to try and just, you know, shoot those guys' heads, and then I have a free mini-nuke. Okay, I think they've probably dealt with the scavengers that were attacking. Or not. Okay, we'll deal with these guys, because otherwise it's going to break the conversation.
You're dead.
Very good. Missing all my shots. There we go. Okay. I think all of our allies are done and getting back inside. Ha! Algernon is invisible. Oh, we got Wise. I completely forgot about that. Maybe I'm thinking of a Gas playthrough where he failed to get Wise. Karvok says, when I play, it's about making sure everyone around me... When I play, it's about making sure everyone around me so I do not have to fight anymore. Okay, I get you. Yes, that's wise. And I did not do that. Okay, so we got some Concord, or Concord volunteers, who I think they come in if you don't have enough people. They're like, that's us saying, okay, we see that you're sucking, and we're going to help you suck a little bit less. So, if we talk to Jake or Aiden, this will begin the quest, so let's talk to everyone else first. Let's talk to Algernon.
Feeling tense? I know I am. I hate the calm.
What the hell was that voice?
Often it's worse than the battle itself.
What was that noise? I've never heard that noise before. Was that something exploding? Was it a weapon? Okay, we're just... Okay. I'm going to ignore that.
Any advice?
Once we attack, the element of surprise will only last for so long. The gunners will adapt. That's when we can expect the real fight to begin.
Any other advice, Captain?
Don't underestimate Wes. He's the second longest serving leader the gunners have ever had. And you don't hold that position for that long without learning a thing or two.
I guess thinks it was someone kicking a barrel. Never heard that sound in game before. That was scary.
Then let's get to it.
Roger that.
Hey, Wise.
Good to see you again. Algernon's been giving me the stink eye ever since I showed up. I don't think he appreciated me skipping out on the vault. I'll be assisting with some recon for this operation of yours. Here's hoping it all goes well.
I trust you, Wise. You sound trustworthy. Why are you here?
Why are you here?
What? Did you forget or something? You asked me to come work for you, remember? So, here I am. Ready, willing, and able to help a friend in need.
Okay, so then maybe this has been fixed at this point. I don't think it has. I know there's some conditioning issues on some of the lines here, so I think after Wise says this, the why you're here is meant to get replaced by like another question you can ask. And I think the same is true with Lupe. So, Cal, if you're watching this in the future, and those haven't been reported yet, there's something new for you.
Recon, eh?
That's right. You could say it's my speciality. I'll do my best to help with any surprises the gunners may have in store for you.
Any idea what I'm gonna see in there?
The plaza is the gunners' main base of operations, so surprise, surprise, it's full of gunners. Once you make it in there, you can expect any troops you find to take up standard defensive positions. They'll make use of cover, operate in small teams, and do their best to flank you if possible. So, make sure you're always watching your back.
Thank you, Wise. You're a trustworthy gentleman. Goodbye.
Okay, let's get to work.
Right behind you, in a manner of speaking.
Good guy that Wise. Okay, we're not going to talk to Aiden. Let's look to Teresa.
Excuse me.
Hey there, fancy pants. Say hello
Papa's
to
like, no,
your
you're talking to
demolition
me.
expert.
What are you doing here?
Bastard gunners tried hitting our new settlement. Don't worry, Stodge managed to hold them off. But not long after the attack, guess who else comes sniffing around? Only my old commanding officer, Sergeant McTavish. Though, I suppose it's just Aiden now. Not as if any of us are Minutemen no more. He starts telling me all about this big plan to stick it to the gunners. Only I tell him where he can stick it. I'm not interested. But then he drops your name. Says this is all your plan, and that you'll need my help. So, here I am.
Thank you, Teresa. I have a feeling you're going to be very helpful in the future, perhaps in some sort of administrative role.
Do you have any advice?
Advice on what? Attacking the plaza? How should I know? I look like a psycho to you or something? I don't know. Shoot them all before they shoot you? Besides that, just keep your head down and make sure you got plenty of stim packs.
Okay. Something I know for sure is the voice actor for Teresa is more than happy to come back and voice more lines for her. Which is great, because I love Teresa. So, if there's at least one character I can confirm will have a future quest at some point, it's probably Teresa.
That's all I needed to know.
Whatever you say.
Because we still not found out her backstory yet. Not really. Not really. Okay, Aiden, you're freaking me out, but I'm just gonna go over here. Hello, Piper. Clearly, I want to talk to you. Yeah, get out of here.
Oh, hey.
We're talking to Lupe.
Are you ready? I'm ready. Yep. Ready to hack that terminal. I hope no one shoots at me.
Okay, so if you answer the question, which is the top line, how'd you get here, there should be a replacement after that. Let's see if it works.
How'd you end up here?
Mr. Theron hired a bodyguard to bring me. A good thing, too. There were a lot of ferals on the road between here and Diamond City. And most of them looked like they'd seen combat recently.
No! Okay, so there's a follow-up line there to explain that further, which does tie into what that possibly has to do with the gunners. Future fix. Can you hack that terminal, Lupe?
think you can unlock that terminal?
Oh, I know I can. I don't know where they got it, but the Gunners have an amazing security system. Anytime I was at the plaza, I studied it as much as I could. Even if they've changed all their passwords, I know every backdoor that system has. I can hack it, no problem.
Okay, I see some more Ron love in the chat, and that's always a good thing. Romance the Ron, question mark. Okay, I'm going to say this. I can confirm, in future content, there will be something related to romance and the Ron. But I'm not going to tell you how those two things combine or work together. But there's going to be something there in the future. Who knows? Who knows? I'll confirm that much, though.
See you later, kid.
Bye now.
But yes. And no is the answer to that. Okay, I think we're good to start. Let's talk to Jake.
Hey.
Great, you made it. As you can see, I brought a few extra hands from Concord to help.
Everything's prepared for the assault. Apart from a few minor details, we're good to go.
But we're not going to start anything until you're ready. So just let us know when you want to do this.
Do we have enough troops for the assault?
They say the more the merrier, and we probably could do with a little more merriment. But I think we've got enough people to pull this off.
Meaning, no, we have, I think that's possibly the line you get when you have the least people possible.
Everything's ready. It's time.
All right, then. First, let's get you up to speed with our plans so far. As you obviously know, we're gonna be attacking the plaza. We need to get inside, find the comm hub, and deal with any gunners that might try and stop us.
But, before we can do that, we need to take out one of the plaza's external defenses.
That being a minefield that surrounds the entire compound. Before we can attack, we need to deal with that minefield.
Well, apparently, I'm a demolition expert.
I've got an idea.
Already way ahead of you, Fancy Pants. But delighted we think alike. The minefield. We detonate it. Whole thing, all at once.
Yes.
That's ambitious.
I gotta say, this idea of theirs was inspired. Listen to this.
Okay, so, at key points all around the minefield, me and Lupe have set up some mannequins. All dressed and kitted out to look like real people.
They'll make noise, shine lights, some even move around. The gunners will think they're under attack.
Which technically will be true.
And if the gunners follow standard procedure, they'll attempt to neutralize the attackers using mini-nukes.
Then, boom! Nukes hit the ground, set off a chain reaction, blows every mine in the field. In one swift move, we can clear a safe path to the plaza and kick enough debris into the air that the gunners won't even see us coming.
Okay, if I'm remembering correctly here, each one of these lines now corresponds to one of the NPCs. So whichever stance you take, if you're very positive by saying it's ingenious, I think Lupe chimes in. If you say I don't know, I think Jake maybe chimes in. If you say it might work, I think Teresa chimes in. And if you say it sounds dangerous, I think Aiden chimes in. So it's basically the tones that you tend to pick for these, so like positive, negative, sarcastic, neutral, I guess, corresponds to each one of our NPCs. I think that's this line. So if I click B, I think it's going to be Aiden.
Yeah, I don't know. This sounds dangerous.
The plan's not foolproof. Any number of things could go wrong. But I think it's our best bet.
We're all in agreement on how we deal with the minefield.
There you go, bit of trivia.
However, what we do after that is where some of us have a difference of opinion.
He means me.
Yeah. Aiden thinks we should climb to the top of the plaza and secure it, cutting off any means of escape for the gunners, and then kill as many of them as we can.
And Jake thinks we should go through the front door, hack their security, and broadcast an evac message, letting most of the gunners just run away.
There has to be some other way to deal with them. Something less drastic.
I understand your hesitation. Truly, I do. I also used to think the same way. Some time ago, I didn't act when I could have. Because I thought what needed to be done was too extreme, too drastic. And you know what happened?
Quincy happened. An entire town slaughtered by gunners. I've seen firsthand the destruction gunners bring, and so have you. We now have the chance to stop anything like that from ever happening again. This is a watershed moment. Wiping these monsters out is the right thing to do. And I think you already know that.
Wes and his loyalists need to be stopped. I won't deny that. But an outright slaughter isn't the answer.
So that was challenging. I had to write... Basically, Aiden's plan is kind of the evil path. You know, games tend to have a good path and an evil path. But it had to be an evil path that makes sense for anyone. Because the gunners are bad, and they do bad things. And I wanted it to be understandable for someone who's doing a good playthrough, which is most players, to be able to pick the evil option in quotations. So I think Aiden makes a good argument there, I hope. That hopefully convince some people to go with his plan. But let's hear Jake's plan.
How much damage would it cause if we let them go?
Huh, that's a good question. Look, I won't pretend the gunners are saints. We both know the group as a whole has done some bad stuff. But does that really give us the right to just wipe them all out? I mean, how many more gunners inside that plaza could be someone like Lupe or Algernon? Can we really deny all those people the right to run away if they don't want to fight?
Alright, this is it. I'm going to open up to a vote, if it doesn't crash my game. Let's see if I can remember how to do this. Start a poll. Okay, the question is, Jake's plan? Question mark. Aiden's plan? Question mark. Whose plan are we going to go with, Jake's or Aiden's? And can I rename this? Jake, yes. Aiden. So I want you to pick whose plan we're going to go with. Start the poll. And remember, back to the game. If we go with Jake's plan, we will be able to get Lamont to be our ally in the end, and she will join us. If we go with Aiden's plan, we'll be able to do a hostile takeover of the gunners. And this is the lock-in point right here. Okay, looks like the Aiden plan's winning. Gonna give it another minute or two. I think most people tend to go with Jake's plan because it's Jake. And they want to be nice. And we are doing a mean playthrough this time. I'm just going to give it another minute or two. But it looks like we are going to go with the Aiden plan this time. Which I don't see many people do. Now we will be losing out on some Lamont talk later on. But I guarantee there's playthroughs out there that have that in their playthrough already, so I think we might be good. I'm thinking Aiden's winning. I think we're going to go with Aiden's plan. I wish there was a way that I could alt-tab out of game and it doesn't pause it. End the poll. Yep, we're going with Aiden's plan. Sorry, Jake. Okay, Aiden's plan it is.
You're right. Let's go in there and get him.
I knew you'd see reason.
Oh, wait, no.
You're making the right call.
Oh, God, I just realized. That means Berman's gonna go away. I hope you're all happy with that. We don't get any Berman. That's what you wanted.
Violence to toss on the pile.
All right. I mean, it's not as if I don't understand where you're both coming from. It's just, I wish it didn't have to be this way.
I can't say I'm thrilled with your decision. Do what you need, but I'll have no part in this.
And we get no help
so
from
we're agreed on
Algernon.
what we're doing. We blow the mines and use the dirt kicked up to cover our approach. Then you, me, and Aiden climb to the top of the plaza and secure the roof. Aiden will make sure no gunners escape, whilst you and me enter and search for the comm hub.
You should look for the hub in the old newsroom. If anywhere, that's where they'd be keeping it.
With me working the inside angle, this is doable.
No doubt about that. Without you, there's no way we'd be able to pull this off. All right, we'll need to wait for nightfall before we begin. Once we start this, there'll be no turning back. So make sure you're ready. When you're good to go, take up position. And good luck to all of us.
Oh, I'm sad now. See, maybe we need to tweak that option. I'll just save the game here. So, again, we're just ruining things here. So, if you go with Aiden's plan, you can still let Berman escape when you confront him in the basement. But, as Aiden explained, if anyone takes that elevator up to the roof, he's not letting them live. So Aiden kills Berman, even if you let him go. Now, maybe that's something we can tweak, but it kind of breaks law, so probably not. But in Chapter 3, big spoilers now, if you've not played Chapter 3 and you're planning to, I don't know, turn your ears off for the next minute. In Chapter 3, Berman returns. He comes back with Caitlin, Jake's wife, and he defects from the Gunners to join you. And this also opens up the pathway to get Lamont to be on your side. Because he gives you some information, and then you can use that information. But since we're doing the Aiden path, we don't need that information, so we'll see. I know at some point we figured out there's actually a logic error there, where if you let Berman live or don't let him live, it kind of breaks things at the way the quest was set up later on, so we may have to go back and tweak that at some point. It's just something I overlooked. Like, I thought I had it figured out, but apparently not. So maybe we will let Berman live, even if you take the Aiden path. We'll just have him leave the HQ by a different exit, which can work just fine. And maybe we'll just record a new Berman line, where he's like, yeah, that Aiden guy tried to shoot me. That sucked. But it does sort of doubly limit the player, where we only want to limit them on one path, not two paths, so it'll make sense. It'll make sense if you've done all this and know all the outcomes. But I think that might be where I call it here for today. Because I got a lot of work to do, and I don't want to leave it too late before my brain just turns to mush, which does happen after a certain time. Because I'm working on our next project for King F Creations. I've got a lot of writing to do and not long to do it. So, let's switch over to the correct screen. There we go, just chatting. And if there's any questions, anything you wanted to know, any queries, now's the time to ask before we say goodnight. Well, I say goodnight. Some of you apparently are in morning time, which is ridiculous. I'm so glad the game played well. I was expecting to have some issues or bugs crop up because I'm not playing with updated Chapter 1s and 2s, and we're on Chapter 2 right now, but I am playing with an updated Chapter 1. Carvac says, I'll just enjoy the Baldur's Gate music, as you should. The good Baldur's Gate. I think it's music from 1, maybe 1 and 2. The better ones. Okay, I'm going to go for a short run here. Baldur's Gate 3 is a really good game. I just hate that it's not a good Baldur's Gate game. One day I will play it, but it's probably going to be a year or two, because I'm going to need some mods to just tweak it enough where I can tolerate it. Because I think Larian designed a really good game. They just did pretty much the exact opposite, creatively, that I would have done in their place, or should I say that I would have wanted if I'm playing this game as a fan of the previous two. Because it really is its own game. It's got nothing really to do with the previous games other than some loose thematic tie-ins, which you could just cut and remove and it would make no difference. So I know why they did it. It's a name recognition thing, but it's really not a Baldur's Gate 3. Now, as Carvac said, it's a really good 5th edition D&D game, which I think it is. For a 5th edition game, perfect. I think it's exactly what a 5th edition fan would want. I think it delivers that experience. Me personally, I'm not the biggest fan of 5th edition. I think it does some things really well, but I'm 2nd edition, 3rd edition, so it just doesn't speak to me. But it probably speaks to the majority of their audience, so who am I to judge? They did it right for them, which isn't right for me. And as we all know, the world should cater to individuals like myself, because I want it that way. The horniness of Baldur's Gate 3 makes me uncomfortable, and that's saying something. Yes. Okay, I don't know if this is true, but I read it somewhere. Where many people, including me, I've played through a little bit of it, and I've watched some people do playthroughs of it. So I know some of like the early stuff and some of the mid-game stuff, and I know some of the endings as well. And I was struck immediately by how horny all the characters are. Like, immediately, it's too much. As a writer, I tell them, like, okay, this is way too soon. Like, there's no character development. I don't know this character yet. And they're being, like, super horny for me. This is really weird. It's kind of creepy. I don't like it. And I think, again, I don't know if this is true, but I'm fairly sure I've seen it. Larian released a patch for it where they said, oh, that's actually a bug. They're not meant to be that horny that early in the game. But I kind of don't believe it. I think originally they were intended to be super horny off the bat. But so many people just found it a bit weird. Including Cares, apparently. Which is saying something. And so they went back and kind of turned some of that... Just turned it down just a tiny bit. Which I think is the right choice. But there's definitely a writing style to Baldur's Gate 3 that's very unique to itself. And some of that is that everyone's just super horny all the time. And again, if that's the game you want, that's the game you got. But for me, personally, it's not quite what I'm looking for in that kind of game. now we're on a Baldur's Gate 3. Maybe we'll play it at some point. Maybe I'll, if we get SS2 done, you can watch me play that game and be angry at it. I don't know how fun that would be for people, because most people like it. So watching an angry old man play it, I don't know how fun that'll be. Maybe really fun, maybe really amusing, maybe really annoying. I don't know. We'll have to have a vote at some point once we've got SS2 wrapped. If I decide to keep streaming, we'll have to... Do I play games I like and just want to talk about and just have some fun? Do I play games I hate and you just get to listen to me rant? Which I'd be happy to. I'd be happy to play a game I hate and rant about it. Because I do this by myself, I do it with my friends, and they got to put up with it. Thankfully, they agree with me most of the time, but that still doesn't mean they don't want me to shut up. Because I won't let it drop. Ha! That's an OnlyFans explosive. Explosive? Exclusive! Okay. Yes. I will start my OnlyFans. We'll put it on there. Carvok would like me to see me play Baldur's Gate 1. I'd like to see that too. Okay, so... Thing about me, and probably many of us playing, when I play certain games, I have to mod them. Because I've played them so much, and then I've played them so much with mods, and after that, you often can't go back. I could play just vanilla Baldur's Gate, although it wouldn't really be vanilla, because I'll probably play the Enhanced Edition, which is close to vanilla, but not quite. So I'll probably play a modded version of it. Which means I gotta go back and mod it. I do keep a spreadsheet with all the mods I like to play in Baldur's Gate. And I probably still have an installation somewhere with all my recent mods. But either way, I'll have to set it up properly first, I think, and make sure everything plays nicely. Because Baldur's Gate's one of those games where even if the mods are having horrible conflicts, you can still play it. There'll just be weird janky things that happen in the game. So I need to make sure that is right and working. I also have a personal mod that I play the game with that people have asked me to release, but it's one of those things where it's on kind of grey area in terms of morality. I fall more in what I do is transformative, but I can get why some people don't think it's that way. We'll discuss it more at that time. Basically, it's a portrait mod, and there's basically hundreds of characters in the game, so you need to have outside sources for those pictures. And that's how most people play. Most people tend to have galleries full of custom portraits for their characters, but this is custom portraits for the NPCs in the game. Because I think it's nicer when you have a face to look at. And it's a really old game, it's from like 1998, so the only characters that have portraits are like the main NPCs and maybe 2 of the story NPCs in the vanilla game, like way back when. Could be wrong about that, it might be 0. I'm fairly sure the bad guy has his own custom portrait. Don't know. Either way, we'll see. I'll get Baldur's Gate modded up and maybe you can watch me play it. We'll see. We'll see. We'll put it to a poll, like, do you want me to play games I like? Do you want me to play games I hate? Both might be entertaining. But we're going to be finishing soon. So, any more questions, any more queries, anything you want to say, now's the time to get it in. I hope you've all been playing... I hope you've all been watching Gaff's streams of playing. He's jumping between the Xbox and the PC at the moment. And it's nice to see that you can play quite far into SS2 on the Xbox. Because that's something many people on the team, we don't play on the Xbox. But we try to design SS2 with Xbox in mind. And chances are the majority of people who play SS2 might play it on the Xbox. I don't know. Which is crazy to think, because clearly the PC is better. But I guess there's more Xbox players. And this is something also recently we've had to have in mind when making content for the Creation Club. I don't think it's called the Creation Club anymore. Creation Program. When we make creations, because they are for PC and Xbox, but generally speaking, the playtesting we can do is much more limited on the Xbox compared to PC. We do it as best we can, but there's like different types of Xbox and things just work differently. I don't get it. But it's been interesting to see that you can play SS2 somewhat without too many crashes, which I think that just happens on the Xbox anyway. But I'm hoping he can complete it. Baldur's Gate 2 has the best villain. Irenicus is a great villain. He's a step up from Serevok, and I love Serevok. But they're definitely different types of villains. Serevok does beautifully for what he is, and I think he works way better in the first game as that first villain. It makes sense. He's like your level 1 villain. Irenicus, he's a few levels ahead. So, I love Irenicus, great villain. Sunstorm, yes. What is Sunstorm? Was that meant to be Starfield, yes? Oh, you're saying yes to Sunstorm. Okay, I read Starfield, but I didn't read... That's you, it is. Thank you, Sunstorm. Would people like to see me rip into Starfield? I'm vocal about Starfield. I can see what they were going for with it, but I think they went wrong in so many ways, and therefore it hurts. Because I see what it could have been. And I don't know if it's a case of the creation engine just being like, you really... They did some really impressive things with pushing it to its absolute limit. I was super impressed with some of the stuff it does, knowing it's the creation engine. But that also holds it back a lot. And there's many things I'd want from like a space sim game that it doesn't really do, and I don't think you can do in the creation engine. Starfield's a nub from Kez. It's a different game. Like, it's a different feel, and I think they didn't import enough over from the previous Bethesda games that make you enjoy playing a Bethesda game. And I think hopefully they're going to add them in with the DLC. I know there's at least one DLC coming out for it. I think it's, what's it called, like Shattered Sky or something, Shattered Space. I think I've seen people throwing that name around. So I'm hoping they do fix some of the things that obviously weren't working at launch, and maybe get some of the stuff in that I guarantee they had to cut, just because there's always stuff to cut. So that'll be, maybe that will help flesh it out a bit, because, you know, if you go back and play Fallout 4 or Skyrim without any of the DLC, the game does feel a lot more empty. So maybe Starfield will benefit from just having that extra year or two worth of content, some overhauls to the systems in the game. I'd like to, I don't know if it's possible, I'd like to see a expansion on like traveling in space. There's a game called Freelancer from about 99, 2000. Again, I'm an old man. These are the times I was playing games when I was young. And it's a really old game, but I have so much fun in that game. It's simple as far as like flying in space games go. But I always just have fun having my ship and flying around. If they could emulate some of those things from Freelancer, I think that'll make Starfield feel really good, and I don't think it would be too complicated. But I don't know if the creation kit can do it. We don't know. We just don't know. Maybe it could with some overhauls. I don't know. I'd like to see more flying about in space though in Starfield. That would make, because you can do a lot of stuff with creating the custom starships, and a lot of people say that's the best thing. But then you don't really get to do as much with them, which is a shame. I know everyone's bashing Starfield in chat. This is the interesting things. I think you tend to bash the things you're a fan about, and because we're a fan of Bethesda games, you know, we all play Fallout. I think a lot of us play Skyrim. Starfield is a Bethesda game, and because we want more from it, we're going to be probably a lot more critical of it than maybe we'd be about a game that we cared nothing about. It's like, that just game sucks, who cares? But we're going to be much more like, they didn't have sentient aliens in Starfield, which again, yeah, that does seem like a completely missed opportunity. Like, it's a space game, and you don't have to have aliens in a space game. But, you know, imagine Fallout 4, where it's only humans. There's no ghouls, there's no mutants, there's no Deathclaws. Well, that's a bit more boring. You know, they do have aliens. They have the aliens that walk about on planets, but they're just like background things that you kind of ignore. They could just be cows. and it'd be about the same. Hopefully they polish it off in some future content, and who knows? Who knows? In the future, maybe King Gaff Creations will help polish off in some way. Maybe. Okay. I can see chat is just getting completely out of hand here, and it's past now, so with people mentioning Deathclaw Rule 34, which we try and keep this to be a friendly stream, people. I think we're gonna call it there for today. Although I'm seeing more people mention things from Baldur's Gate and Karvok, you're trying to trick me. You're trying to trick me, Karvok, and it's not gonna work. It's time to say goodnight. So, good night, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Next week, rather, I do plan to stream. Hopefully, I'm done with the bulk of my writing for the current project we're working on by then, so I'll have some more free time. At some point, I do think I'm going to have a bit of an overhaul to some of the UI of my stream, because I just threw something together. But I think it's clearly enough people are watching. We're almost 10 episodes in. I think that's enough for me to warrant putting a bit more effort into things and creating some more custom backgrounds and music and all that stuff, because I just grabbed what I had in my hard drive. And also, some people were very kind and donated some images. I'm looking at you, Erica. So who knows, in the next stream or two, maybe we'll have an overhaul. But for now, it's time to say goodnight. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for watching. And I will see you next time.